already like my third take. Hi guys, my name is Shoutout. I'm a dancer and teacher and choreographer in the commercial dance industry scene. My most memorable job would be when I worked alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Mobile Strike commercial, which was the official commercial for the 2015 Super Bowl. So it was the 50th Super Bowl. When the commercial was aired, it was actually aired on my birthday. I got to receive lots of lovely messages from my friends who were in America because they would see myself fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that was very iconic for me. My second memorable job, there's so many, but obviously it has to be the Jax Jones Breathe video that I did with Shadow. It was amazing to work alongside a friend, and you know, he was one of the people that really helped me with my freestyling. It was memorable because over 10 years ago I was told that people didn't want to see that people that look like me on the camera. And what I mean by that is they didn't want to see Asian people, especially as leads. First of all, Jax Jones, he's also half Asian. To see someone who is of Asian heritage, you know, representing our community and being successful. There's young people out there that look at that and go, okay, if she can do it, I can do it as well. My most favorite job that I did was working with Ryan Heffington. If you don't know who Ryan Heffington is, I'm sure you have some spare time right now, so go binge watch his work. I've always wanted to work with him, so it was like, wow. Shout out to AMCK for representing me for that job, because that was my favorite job by far. Iconic, you know, movement artists in charge, yes. Imagine every single department, from directing, costume, lighting, makeup, movement, everything, artistic direction. Every single person on this job were amazing. It was like they knew how to do their job with excellence. And if you know that when they're talking, they're right. They know what they're talking about. And it was so nice to be on a shoot where it was a group of people that just knew their shit. Pardon for my French, but I'm just being real. I was born in Japan. My dad's side's European, my dad's Polish from Yorkshire. But I grew up in a town called Bishop Auckland. So shout out to anyone that's from the Northeast. Remember school discos? I remember I was obsessed with Jamiroquai. So I had a black hat that imitated his hat. And I'd wear baggy clothes, and my grandma would knit me this thing, so I had that over the top. I wanted to be Jamiroquai so badly. I remember when the school DJ said, all right, boys and girls, I want to pick one girl and one boy, and the best dancer, you're going to jump up onto the stage. I remember thinking, that's me, I'm the girl. I remember I went crazy. I don't remember what the song was, but I was like, that's me. And I got chosen. Yay! I think I stood out anyway because we were the only Asians in the village, There was one black kid in my school, there was one Asian, that was me. I still remember the light, and I still remember the cold, musty smell of that high school gymnasium. I still remember it, and I still remember the light, and I was just going crazy. And I remember thinking, this is where I belong. And so I think it really started there. But I really started training dance, I'd say when I was 14, 15. So I was a dance studio kid. I did take lessons in Bishop Auckland as well, at Richardson's dance studio. Shout out to Sue. By that time I'd moved to Japan. I found a dance studio, would go once a week. And after a year that changed to 3 classes a day. I feel like your challenges never stop. I think for me, being told that, in the West, they don't want to see people like me. Because that kind of stuff really messes with your head, With my faith as a Christian, sometimes that was a battle, balancing my faith. Because I know I'm not perfect, but am I representing what I believe in? That was difficult for me, especially when I moved back to the UK. At first, I was like, am I even meant to be in the entertainment industry? Will God be happy with me? As I was asking those questions, I just felt God say to me, go. When I moved to London, the good thing was there was still agency auditions. They don't have those anymore. So I don't know how dancers get discovered today, but then I feel like agents are able to insta stalk you. They can stalk you on social media in a good way, so they can find out what you're about. I was lucky. On my first day in London, actually, Carrie Ann was the first person to give me a job. So I auditioned for Zoo Nation, but I didn't get it. But then she actually hired me for something else, for this MTV skit, because she needed a female locker. So there's not that many, you know, especially people that do choreography. So that was really a blessing. And then my partner, who knew an artist called Vivi Brown, and she was looking for somebody who knew Japanese, who's Japanese and who's a mover. You know, there's months and months between these time frames, just so you know. And then, so the music video was in summertime-ish. Yeah, it was summer. We did a music festival in France, which was amazing. And then about 3 months later, Suzette was auditioning for Lily Allen's music video. They needed a female Asian dancer who was curvy. Compared to most Asian girls, like up here I'm Japanese and down here I'm Polish. Basically, when I auditioned, they were like, hey, it's you! So that's how I ended up meeting Suzette. Shout out to Suzette. Yeah, and then from there I worked with Suzette, and I'd say she was one of the first people that really believed in me and pushed me. And I think I really want to share this story so people understand that good morals will allow you to go far. And what I mean by that is the Lily Allen situation. After we did the music video, we were asked, you know, Lily was talking about her world tour, and the way the conversation was going, we were gonna do the world tour. The vision changed and they cut all of the original Hard Out Here dancers. I was gutted because I was like, you know, I really want to do the tour, what's going on? My partner gives me the best advice, and he just said to me, Bubs, trust me, I know you're upset, but just keep it polite. Business is business. I just composed an email saying, thank you very much, Suzette. I really appreciated the time that we had and I look forward to working with you in the near future, and I wish you all the best. A few months later, Suzette contacted me for work. During that job, she actually told me the reason why she contacted me again is because I was the only person that was polite. And I share this because, you know, good manners and good morals will actually take you much further than just talent, you know? You want to be surrounded by nice people. And so I think it's important that in moments of crisis that we stay the calm, loving creatures that we are. Okay, sometimes it's, you know, it's important to express and let it out, but maybe save that for those who are there for you, like your family. And so, yeah, so Suzette really gave me lots of opportunity and lots of work. So shout out to Suzette. Jay Ravel was one of those people. Tugi, she was someone who was like, no, you're sick, and allowed me to assist her for the Dua Lipa stuff. Chris from Dancers Inc., you know, he's always said, like, I've always believed in you, and it's shout out to everyone. Way back, my image wasn't as strong as it is now. It was for a Rita Ora audition. Yeah, I was taking the audition. And I remember I was in the room. Shout out to Corinne, my girl Corinne, my bestie. She was there. She probably doesn't remember this. And she was killing it. Like, she was giving me choreography. She was giving me tricks. She was giving me freestyle. And this is before I freestyled. She was giving me everything, right? And you're thinking, whoa. I remember there was this mixed race girl. I think she's from Belgium. And she came into the room. And I remember I looked at her and I thought, you got the job. I remember thinking that. And what happened? She booked the job. And for me, that was a wake-up call. It's important to be able to play the part, as in look the role. So that allowed me to go, okay, well, what kind of roles do I want to do? What kind of jobs do I want to do? And then from there, I started my transformation. In 2015, I had the privilege to do the Baku closing ceremony, European Games closing ceremony, and it was with Chris Scott from Legions of Extraordinary Dancers, Philip Shabib, Pac-Man, Yaya, Salah, all the best poppers in the UK, and best b-boys in the world, and they were all just there in one space. And it was so amazing to see the freestylers, because a lot of them, they just wanted to take Salah down, especially the poppers. They're like, you know, it was so funny because it's like, they're like, yo, Salah's here. I don't agree with doing this during rehearsal time, but it did help with the energy. But they would just break out into battle mode and it was just so good. And I remember thinking, like, what can I bring to the table? You know, and this is during like Shala taking Yanis Marshall class days. And I remember thinking, like, if they ask me to jump in now, I can't even do anything. And I hated that feeling. I hated it. And I just thought, I want to be free in expressing myself like these guys. So that was like a major turning point for me. Became friends with Jade Hackett on that job. And then Corinne was on that job. So that's how we became friends as well. And then Jade had a weekly freestyle session on a Wednesday in Barking, so I'd go. I contacted Shadow, being like, hey, I see you teaching, because he was teaching freestyle at 68 at that point. I was like, hey, I see you, like, you know, teaching freestyle. Like, you gonna, can I learn from you? Because he just stopped teaching at 68, I think it was. And then he was like, I've got a project coming up in January. I'm gonna hit you up. And then literally there was like 30 people in the room, or 20, 30 people in the room. And that's how Noesis was formed. And I started training. And I stopped taking choreography class because I wanted to focus on this craft called freestyling. Because I was so scared. Until this day I get scared, especially if I haven't moved in a long time. But that was a huge turning point for me. And I'm so grateful for these people because, yeah, like the community that we made together as a team was so, yeah, like for me, like I wouldn't be the dancer that I am today if it wasn't for any of these people, you know? I think it depends on what your definition of success is. Because someone might think being Insta famous is successful, you know, but I guess you're asking me, so what's my definition of success? I feel successful when I'm able to express myself in the most naked self. I'm able to just express and be free. And after I've done it, I just feel like, yeah, like it feels like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I think when I'm able to help my friends I remember there was a job opportunity and I was choreographing for a commercial, and it was for they needed Vogue dancers and there was no Vogue dancers on the job. And I remember thinking, let me contact some people, and when I'm able to bring people in, I feel successful then. I think being smart as well in the way you present yourself on social media. Sometimes it gets in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm over this. But I think it's, yeah, being able to present yourself, like how I would share the videos of myself because I knew like I'm targeting a certain market for certain work. I think that were traits for my success. But I think also as well, like remaining in a childlike mentality. If you're able to stay thinking like a child, I think that's success as well. I recommend everybody should freestyle. Any art form, any artist that I speak with, that I speak to, whether it be musicians, songwriters, actors, painters, illustrators, the great people, the people that I like anyway, that create beautiful work, that write amazing scripts, that are able to act most natural, they all freestyle, they all improvise. And I think there's a beauty in improvisation and freestyle that a fixed setting can't touch. You just can't touch it. And I think it's one of the reasons is because with improvisation and freestyle, it's actually your natural instinct. So it's the purest form. So I think the longer you can stay in your purest form, that will allow you to be amazing. When I do take classes, I take Sean's popping class because I love popping. And yeah, that's all I take. My teacher, Yuka-san, shout out to Yuka-san in Tokyo. I think she's in Bali now. But yeah, my Yuka-san, she was one of my first teachers in Japan. And she's like the ultimate stadium choreo commercial dancer in Japan. And yeah, I learned a lot from her. Michael Parmenter, he was my teacher during my studies in New Zealand while I was studying contemporary dance, because my bachelor's in contemporary dance. And he was a man who had HIV. Yeah, he was dancing like as if he was 20. Like, it was crazy, jumping, dive, rolling, roll, you know. It was amazing. He was such, yeah, he's opened my eyes a lot. Nishikawa sensei, so for the past 2 years I've been studying Nishikawa-ryu, which is a traditional Japanese dance style. And he's taught me a lot in the short time that we've been together, and all of the dances in the noises. And anyone that I've actually worked with, you know, a consecutive amount of time, I say I've learned a lot from the dancers that I did the Baku job with, Dance Dance Dance, shout out to all the UK Dance 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 dancers. Yeah, I feel like I've learned a lot from all those people. My prep for any audition is different. If I have an audition where I'm required to mainly freestyle, I'll probably start training freestyle like 2-3 to, I mean, depends on how long, like, you know, auditions just turn up lastminute.com. So let's say there's an audition in 3 days time, I will start training freestyle like non-stop. If there's like a certain categories, let's say heels, then I'll turn up and go to focus on heels. But I am saying this because that's what I prep for auditions, but then you should train every week. Go take heels class, whatever is your thing. Depending on the audition, I'll practice my makeup beforehand, double check everything's good, check my outfit, see how it looks on camera. Just little things that you can do at home that's, you know, easy. Okay, so I am with AMCK, I am with Simon & Howe, Dancers Inc. I am with Mass Movement, Head Nod, Sports of Seb, Max Summers. Every agent is different. So Simon & Howe, Hayley, shout out to Hayley, is amazing because I just have great communications with Hayley. She's so easy to talk to, like literally, like, yeah, you know, and if I'm in a rush and I'm da-da-da-da, like, she won't get offended by things like that, you know. It's like, yeah man, like, you have a life, you're busy, I get it, you know. It's like, it's, and vice versa, I'm like, yeah, cool. AMCK, Ben, shout out to Ben, amazing. He's, you know, if I'm like, Ben, like, you know, this is a problem, then he'll go witch hunt for me. So he's great. And Chris, Dancers Inc. Chris is very motivational in my life, so I really appreciate his words of wisdom and his the sweet words of wisdom that he gives me. Stop being so caught up in your small dramas and problems and get on with it. Put in the hours. Listen to what the elders say, and you know, you're not as bad as you think you are, so just enjoy the ride. Freestyle, have a love for dancing. So even if you're not making any money, still love it. Don't change your attitude just because you start working, because that will change quickly. Treat others how you want to be treated. I do think eating healthy is important, but I like my treats. Back in 2016, I injured my back. I was overworking myself. I just said yes to every single booking, and I was literally sleeping for 2 hours a day, and then I go to the next booking, go, boom, boom. Dumbest thing I could have done. I broke down, my back just went. It was a nerve thing, I couldn't move, and I was out for about 2-3 months. And during that time, the day I got out of the hospital with a Zimmer frame, because I couldn't walk, someone rang me and they were like, oh, hey, how are you? Just randomly rang me. And then they said, oh, so what are you gonna do with your career now? People like that, don't talk to them. Do not talk to them, because those voices will go inside your head and you'll be like, what am I gonna do with my life? But I luckily had amazing people around me who just kept on speaking good words. My physio, shout out to Tom, gave me a bunch of exercises to do, and I did them. And I listened to him. It was me. He was like my training coach. Here I am today. And I just focused on my relationship with God at the time. So if you don't have a relationship with God or anything, I'd recommend you just read positive, encouraging words, because that's what we need to strengthen our souls and our minds, you know? I love songwriting. This is my Third guitar, Romeo. He's called Romeo because all the ladies love him. I love to go to the movies with my friend. I love cooking. It depends on the job. It would depend on the job, but I like to see versatility, especially in women. I love to see versatility in dancers, so I'll probably ask them to do like different styles of dancing. I'll make it extra difficult in an audition, and what I mean by that is, you know, give them a challenging task and see how they handle it, see how they are speaking to their colleagues, to the person next to them, because by that you'll know, okay, you're gonna be really bad under pressure, and if I'm choreographing something and if the director says all this needs to change and I need the new choreography in an hour, I need to know that you're not gonna be a pain for me. So I think the way you present yourself, the way you carry yourself under stress is so important. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that has allowed me to do certain jobs as well, because allowed me to keep working, because I don't know, I feel like I'm quite Zen master when it comes to stress. Well, because of my faith, I remind myself, actually, my identity isn't in my dancing. I'm a loved daughter. I am loved. That's it. JME Dance Company, thanks for having me, and I'll see you next time.